Good morning. Good morning, world. Good morning. It's up your o'clock. Welcome to the very first episode of Up You with Ezinne in the year of the Lord 2025. Yes. Yes. My name is Ezinne Kufrekanem and I'm your host. I'm thrilled to kick off this exciting new year with you. Very thrilled. And I wish all of us a very happy new year and that we will all embrace the incredible opportunities that this year will turn up for each and every one of us. Starting the new year fills me with a mix of excitement and reflection, and I'm sure it's the same thing for you. Okay? It's a chance to leave behind what didn't serve us last year and step boldly into the unknown. Yes, because we don't know what tomorrow holds or even what today holds. But we step boldly into it, with intention and purpose. I've learned that the habits that we cultivate at the start of the year also help shape everything about us in the year, our mindset, the successes, and the joy. And that is why our team on the show this year is elevate. To go to somewhere different, you need to elevate your thoughts, your mindset, your success, your joy. You need to elevate everything about you. And so that's why we've chosen that team this year on Up You with Ezinne to elevate. But this month we're starting strong and we're starting with the topic new heights, new habits. Yes, new heights, new habits. Each week, we'll dive into topics that will help you set goals and build life changing habits and overcome barriers holding you back. Everyone deserves to be successful. And that is what we are going to be doing on this platform, giving you topics, helping you set goals, build life changing habits that will help you to be successful in your journey as you navigate year 2025. So let's do this, beautiful people, as we journey together to find self and fulfill purpose. Did you know that Oprah Winfrey starts every day with meditation and journaling? Mhm. It's a habit that keeps her grounded and intentional despite her busy schedule. Imagine what one powerful habit could do for you. Many of us think that to be successful, we need to overhaul our lives, the entirety of it, to see results. But the truth is, small changes done consistently create the biggest impact. This idea is beautifully explained in Atomic Habits by James Clear. I encourage everyone to get a copy and read it every quarter this year. Every quarter, read that book, Atomic Habits by James Clear, and then ask yourself, how am I doing? If you get 1% better every day, by the end of the year, you'll be 37 times better than when you started. I'll say that again. If you get 1% better every day, by the end of the year, you will be 37 times better than when you started. It's not about being perfect, it's about showing up daily. Welcome to Up You with Ezinne, episode 1, year 2025. Before we dive in, please take a moment to like and share the stream. Let's spread the word and bring more people into this meaningful conversation. We're live both on YouTube and Instagram. Follow us at Up You with Ezinne across all our platforms, all social media platforms, and catch up on past episodes as well via our YouTube and podcast channels. Here's a quick task for you before we proceed. Grab a pen and a paper, write down one small habit you can start today that aligns with your biggest goal for 2025. It could be as simple as drinking water, writing a gratitude list, or taking a 10 minutes walk. Anything, something that you can start and be faithful to, come rain, sun, or shine. Remember, our topic today is new heights, new habits. It's time to relearn, unlearn, and learn how to get to new heights by cultivating new habits. Today, I'm excited to introduce our first guest of the year. So hold on while I bring her up to the stage. She has been in the backstage for a long time. So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready as I bring up our guest so that I can introduce her. I'm waiting for her to come on stage. Seyi, if you can hear me, please put on your cam and come on stage.
Hi,
Yes,
Ezinne, I'm
yes,
here.
yes. So today, like I was saying,
Hi.
I'm excited to introduce our first guest of the year, Seyi Olulade, strategist, business optimization expert, and governance advisor. Seyi is a dynamic leader with over 20 years of experience across multiple industries. She is the managing partner of the Impeccable Skills Company, a business advisory firm specializing in operational efficiency and human resource management. Seyi has spearheaded groundbreaking initiatives, including establishing Africa's largest workplace nursery for Shell Petroleum Development Company. Beyond her corporate achievements, she is deeply committed to professional development and social impact, serving on advisory boards and contributing to initiatives across Africa. A sought after speaker and thought leader, Seyi has inspired countless executives and entrepreneurs worldwide. Dear everyone, world over, if I were to read Shay's profile, we will not get on with this show. So please go on our social media networks and read the full thing. But right about now, please join me in welcoming the amazing Shay to the show this morning. Happy New Year again, Shay. How are
Happy
you? And good
year.
morning.
Good morning. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to discuss this topic, actually. It's very dear to heart, especially at this time of the year, when we all have to just step out of our comfort zone. Thank you.
Wow. You know, your smile is very infectious. I was hoping and praying that you bring on the charm this morning so that it can affect me and then both of us can just be on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
And my answer have been answered. My prayers have been answered because you are really looking amazing and I love the smile. So I'm gonna copy you and be
Thank you.
smiling.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are you ready?
Yes. Yes.
Great. So Shay,
Ready.
tell me. Yeah. So tell me, I just called you up and said, Shay, I'd like you to do this. I'd like you to be our guest this morning, and I'd like you to speak to us and ginger us and set that tone for the year. And the topic I said to you is new heights, new habits. So could you give me your perspective? What hit you when I told you this?
For me, I mean, it's that time of the year where everybody's like trying to set goals. Everybody feels, you're measuring, you're appraising yourself, and you're trying to plan ahead. Looking at how you've done and where you want to be, where are you right now. So, and a lot of these things, when you look back, like for me, I use myself as an example. I looked at my plan for the year and thought to myself, most of the things I set out, I actually achieved a few, but I achieved more because at some point in time I deviated. But even in my deviation, it was also good. So and but the question I kept on asking myself, so why then what did you not were you not able to achieve the other things? Were they not items or actions or plans that were not good enough? So and a lot of us find ourselves falling along the way, and whichever, and that's because most times we tend to maybe a lot of people say maybe we set unrealistic goals, but I don't think we set on unrealistic goals. I think we do set realistic goals, but we are not as realistic as the goal is. That's always the challenge. So I just thought, oh, this is an interesting topic, and it'll be nice to have a discussion on that. Am I audible enough?
Thank you. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Okay,
Thank you very much. It's
great.
um it's interesting to have your perspective so that we can be on the same table and take off on the same wavelength. Um, if I
Yeah.
do go off, just keep talking from what you heard. Network seems to be coming in and out, but then we're
Okay.
going to beat it like we always do and have this
Yeah.
show. So I like the fact that you used yourself for the appraisal, and you did say that when you kept faith, when you kept repeating some sets of habits, you were able to get some things achieved, and then somehow you just kind of veered off, you know. And that's one thing that we want to teach to
Mhm.
women and everyone else who is going to come watch anyway this year, that you have to be consistent with the habits you've learned, the habits you've formed, to be able to achieve the goals that you've set for yourself. I do know that everybody likes a fresh start.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you, why do fresh starts feel so powerful, and how can we harness the energy beyond January? Because everybody is excited. It's a new year, yeah. But by the time we leave the 90 days of January, it's like something gets sucked out of all of us. So tell us, why
And then
do
we go
fresh
back to
starts
our
feel
old
so
habits.
powerful? What did you
Okay.
say, Shay?
It's always I said, and then along the way we go back to our old habits, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Tapping into the energy. The new year, January, is always that time of the year that everybody feels I have a second chance. And we're not right. We're not wrong. It's that mindset of I have a second chance. It's that period where we have the mindset of positivity, where we are so optimistic. I can see, I haven't come out of the holiday where we've relaxed, we've tried to enjoy ourselves, we've remunerated over or the year past 11 months, January to November, and December comes where you're like, okay, let me take all this in. How well did I do? I want to celebrate myself. I want to enjoy myself. And that kind of gives you a refreshing, brings you into January with a mindset that, look, it's a new year, new opportunities, new strength, new energy, new focus. It's a mindset thing. And um, we need to, one of the things we need to do with ourselves, because I find out with all the challenges that we have, a lot of things are talking at us. Like they say, new heights, new devils. I mean, new levels, new devils, right? And of course, just um, as you're getting ready to move on to your set goals and to achieve those goals, definitely there are habits that, I mean, we're like the Bible says, we're flesh. The flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing, right? So we have our flesh, our body, and our mind at times. If we don't take a hold of it, we might lose track. And the only way we can do that and keep the energy, one, not to start too big, start small, start small. Like I was saying, somebody, I was putting up my own vision board for the year. It's always nice to start a vision board and putting it around, having a vision board around every aspect of your life. And for me, I've been fighting weight loss. I've been trying to lose weight for like forever. And I'm always going, oh, I'll go to the gym tomorrow. Don't go there. I'll go to the gym tomorrow. I'll go on that walk. I'll go this. My job is very sedentary. I will do this, I'll do that. And I thought to myself, Shay, just 5 minutes every day. 5 minutes. Get up, jump, do all the bumpy, do all the steps, just do something. 5 minutes, dance. By the time you realize that, you can now start moving to 10 minutes and all. So what am I trying to say is we should start small, baby steps. That's the only way we can keep the fuel going. That's the only way we can keep the energy going. And as I was speaking, I just remembered when I was in secondary school, I used to be an athlete. And I used to represent my school long distance, 400 meters, 800, 1,500, 3,000 meters race. And I remember with the 1,500 meters race, You will see a lot of people, they'll be sprinting as at first. And I remember my coach would say to me, do not attempt that. Just be moving gradually, moving so that you are conserving your energy. If you go on a sprint, you may lose that energy fast. And it's not a dash, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Life itself is a marathon. 2025 is one of the um um will I say lanes? No, I won't call it lane. 2025 is just one of the frames of that marathon. So you have to start incrementally. That's what helps you to keep the energy. And then your mind, what are you feeding your mind with? Like a saying, like the adage that says, if you say you can't, of course you can't. But if you say you can, surely you can. So for me, I always see the glass half full, never half empty, which means that you can start also with what you have. Don't look at what you don't have. Just like the 4 lepers we have in the Bible. Don't look at what you don't have. Little steps, and then God would magnify it for you. That's the way you can keep the energy going. And most importantly, stay connected to God.
You're almost like it's almost like you I don't know. I feel attacked. That's the truth. I feel very attacked because one of the things I've been carrying
Please don't.
over year on year is lose weight. And
Wait.
you start with lose weight. I'm like, Shay, did you always want to tell me this? Are you okay? All right, I'm not even going to go there. But I promised myself that I'm going
No,
to
we're
try and
we're
find
we're
a
on the
tutor
same
this
boat.
year. I'm going to find Kate
We're
this
on the
year and
same
bring her
boat.
on the show so that we can find whether we can conquer this mountain
Yeah.
that is standing before us. The truth is, everyone says to me, Ezinne, whatever you set your mind on, you have accomplished. So you just haven't set your mind on accomplishing this weight thing. So, but I'm going to give it another try
Thank
this
you.
year. But let's not make this about me. Let's
Mm,
go on with this show before I start to cry. You were saying, or you said,
mm.
that some of the things one of the reasons why we derail when we set goals and we drop the habits is because we actually bite big chunks, you know because I was going to ask you that what's some of the common mistakes that people make when they're building new habits, and you already have talked on one. You said, when you set out a goal that is very huge, then of course it scares your mind. The mind, no matter how contrary to what we think, that the mind is very very strong, the mind is actually very fearful. You just need to keep building the muscles of the mind until it can
Yeah.
get to the point where it supports the very big
Yeah.
dreams. And so, can you tell us some other common mistakes that we make or people make so that we can avoid them in 2025?
Yeah. One thing I would say is remember, always have at the back of your mind, you are not in competition with anybody.
Mm,
You're
mm.
not in competition with anybody but yourself. I mean, you already have yourself, your spirit, soul, and body. Three. These three guys, very strong contenders, contending for the space of each other. So why do you want to? One of the and why am I using this to start to answer this question is when you keep focusing on look at what A has done, look at what B has done, look at what C has done. Whereas there's somebody else that is also looking at you and say, look at what this person has done. Look at what whilst you are busy focusing on that, you lose sight. Because then you begin to see your quote unquote supposedly imperfections, limitations. You begin to see how much you cannot do it. You begin to see how much you cannot accomplish it. Because you will always see one reason why that person was able to accomplish it better than you. So, and the point is, God has uniquely created each and every one of us. He has uniquely created each and every one of us and given us all that we need to excel and succeed. Will there be obstacles? Oh, yes. After all, when one of my favorite scripture is Daniel's 11:32b. It says, "Those who know their God shall be strong and do exploit." You see that place of that strong. Hey, you go through battles, jump hurdles, obstacles, setback, you will be knocked down, get up again. Whatever it is. So, like I said, you are in competition with yourself, your spirit, soul, and body. So one of the things we need to first do is conquer and settle in the fact that one, I am good enough. I am good enough for this. I have set these goals. I am good enough. All I have to accomplish it is good enough, no matter how little it is. If you want to build, I was sharing with somebody recently. I said, um, there's something I've been trying to. Procrastination is the greatest killer. Is another great killer. I've been procrastinating on so many things. I'll say, oh, maybe this is not time. Oh, because this has not set in place. Oh, because I don't have this. Because, like the man by the pool, he said, "For I have no man."
No man.
Why are you saying you have? Why are you saying you have no man when you have God? You understand? If Naaman was a great man, but he was leper. If you look at it, who helped Naaman find solution? 2 slaves. Meanwhile, maybe that guy was busy looking for one big connector. 2 slaves. First, the slave girl said, "Go and meet this person." He got there because that one told him something else. Another slave boy said, "Sir, if he had asked you for the money in this whole world, you give him. Just go and do this." You understand? So you are good enough. Don't procrastinate. What you have is enough. Take baby steps. Start little. Even Bible says, don't despise the day of your little beginning. Yes, you were a big person before. You were able to do this before. You're able to go this height. You were able to go that height. Do whatever you want to do at very huge levels. There's nothing wrong with starting small. There is nothing wrong. What keeps us from starting and accomplishing most of this plan is because we are always looking on the other side. It's greener there. This person, if only I can have, if only I can be like. So don't compare yourself. Even the Bible says it's fools that compare themselves. I hope
When I told
that
them,
actually answers.
when I said that today's conversation was going to be off the hook, I didn't even know what to expect. Seyi, thank you. You've just said something that I am my tummy is rumbling and saying, how come you never saw this like this? You have yourself in 3 parts: body, soul, and spirit. 3 heavy contenders. If you are not feeding all of them appropriately, one is going to come and superimpose itself. Maybe you become more body than spirit, or you become more spirit than soul, and you have not even dealt with this. You've not finished dealing with it. You're looking at, oh, what is Shay doing? What is Agatha doing? What is come on, people. I do not know any other imagery that should draw us back to ourselves and make us begin to look for how to infill ourselves and become better humans for ourselves. You see, when we say that this program is all about finding self, this is what we're talking about. So, Shay, thank you. Because I'm going to sit with this one point. I know I'll hear more before we close, but you see, this one, I will sit with it and I will understand it. And I hope other people got this Rema like I did. Thank you. And then you now mentioned all the things that, can stop us from, staying true to the habits that we say we want to form. They tell us, psychologists and all of that tell us that it takes 21 days for a new habit to kind of take root. Small root, not tap root. For tap root, you have to be consistent for a lot of time, maybe even months and years before you can consistently do the same thing every day, almost on autopilot. And so it is important that we all know that the first 21 days of starting a new habit is very crucial. You must do it every day, if possible, at the same time. You know, there's some drugs that if you need to take them, they will tell you have to take them at the same time every day. You know, that's for you to be able to make it a habit and break into it. So thank you for letting us know that comparing ourselves with other people is a killer, you know, because you, for instance, might be on chapter 10 of your life when I'm still in chapter 1, you know. So thank you for letting us know that regret is also a killer. I used to, there's a way we say it's a balance. I get them before, nobody say I get them now. I used to do things on a large scale. Well, this is today. Maybe you don't have that capacity for large scale. Start where you are and then ask God to put his super on where you are. And then you find that you just keep doing it consistently. And one day you go back to your super platform. I mean, isn't that what you're saying, Shay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank
Yeah.
God. So I'm catching it. Thank you.
And one, I love, yeah,
Go ahead.
I love something you said. You mentioned something about chapters. That, I mean,
Mm-hmm,
you might be in, somebody else might be in chapter 10, and you might be in chapter 1. If you look at some
mm-hmm,
books, right, you keep wondering, you hold two books, right? And in terms of volume, one is bigger than the other. But you could
mm-hmm,
hold the bigger volume, the book with the bigger volume, and it just has 7 chapters. And you hold
mm-hmm,
the smaller one, it has 10 or 15 chapters. There are some
mm-hmm,
chapters that have more paginations, and there are some
mm-hmm.
that have fewer. So your lives are different. You might be looking
Yeah.
at this to say, I'm still in chapter 1. I'm still in chapter 1. Meanwhile, your own chapter 1 is so full, it's so rich
Robot.
that even when
Yeah.
and very robust. So why don't you just stay there? Just be, I went to a military primary and secondary school. And
Mm-hmm,
I remember those days when we were marching. They'll say mark time, mark time. So that mark time, you're just there on the spot, lifting your head.
pumping
When you
your
go
faith.
to when you are doing that exercise and you're just exactly, you're just marking time. Let us move now. Forward march. You stay forward march. You're just marking time, and they can keep you there. That mark time is also achieving something. There is a purpose
It
for
is
it.
very
There's a purpose for
necessary.
it. So once we
Yes.
realize that, be realistic with yourself. This is my me. This is my own lane. Like they say, stay in your lane. Don't try to cross
Mm-hmm,
somebody else's lane. Have those goals. Look for leverage triggers that would also help you, like pairing habits together. You understand? That also would help.
mm-hmm,
you know Pairing habits, like maybe when you're brushing your teeth, that's when you can say, okay, let me meditate, and okay, this goal, how do I do this? Or you wake up, you can sit on your bed, and you just carry a book you're reading, and whilst you're reading, you are already thinking of one, two, three things together. Always practice that together. you know Meditate, trigger together, right? It's very important. you know it helps.
thank you. Thank you. You just used another powerful imagery.
Mm,
Uh, the mark time.
mm,
That you're marking time and somebody else is forward marching doesn't mean that your life is not in forward motion. You know, there's a time and a season for every single one of us. That's why we emphasize on
everything.
knowing yourself. You must know yourself so that you can
Yeah,
tell clearly your time
yeah,
and season and be able to know when to forward march and even know when to put yourself on mark time by yourself. Interesting stuff.
yeah.
Mentor me, please. Let me beg you publicly. And she smiles.
Don't
Okay,
worry,
let's move on.
we'll mentor each other.
Let's move on. Can
All
you
right.
share some strategies for making habits stick even when motivation ends? Because you see, this thing we're doing now, it sounds all very nice and they're all very, we're speaking English, is going back and forth, you're batting and batting. And so for those watching, they're like, don't mind them. It's because they really don't have any stress. Nothing has taken their motivation. That's why they're doing this and that and that. So please, can you even tell us some strategies that we can use to always ginger ourselves? Let me just, as an aside or part of, I've been fascinated for a long time with what happens to us at 12 midnight, 31st December every year. No matter how bad the year was for anyone, once you hear 12 midnight crossover, our minds just switch into hope. You know, we just come alive, and then we are willing to go again. So and that's a very fast mind shift that happens for almost everybody all over the world. So I keep wondering, how, when we lose motivation, how can we just and then keep going, and don't give up on
Switch
the
mode.
habit. Mm,
Okay. So if I heard it clearly, because I lost you for a while, how do we keep going when we lose motivation? And then how do we
yes,
sustain
please.
these habits?
Mm-hmm.
You said it rightly, 21 days. It takes 21 days for habits to be formed. Like I said earlier on, start small, incremental, little by little. Uh, they will say, I spend 1 hour in the gym. I have a friend. I remember those days. Um, we will all go to the gym together, even go to the stadium in those days. We will go the lap. Oh, this girl will go. You see, her, she just do half, then she will go back and sit down and be eating her energy back. And we will all be laughing at her that what's wrong with this girl? Are you okay? Anna? So one day we realized that she will go, maybe she will do 50 meters today. She will sit down, be looking. After a while, she will increase from 50 meters to 100 meters. Today, the last time I saw her, as at that time, she was like a size 20, 22. Yeah, it was really big. Now she wears a size 8. And when I asked her, what did you do? I mean, I'm sorry, I had to use weight loss and this because to us women,
No, don't be sorry. It's fine.
most times it's always one strong issue,
That problem,
that
yeah.
we battle with
Mm-hmm.
because our hormones keep going everywhere, you know. And she said something. She said, Seyi, all I don't stress myself. I am consistent with my 50-50 meters. And at times I go to 100 meters. I just undulate between 50 and 100 meters and I stick to it. I'm faithful to it. I reward myself with my energy. So reward yourself is very important. Reward yourself when you make one little success. Now, success is relative. Some of us think success is what one huge thing. It has to be something big. That's Let me tell you what success looks like, right? You have a business. You have a business and you set your goals in place. You set your goals in place, your strategic planning. You set your goals, your business imperative. I want to achieve XYZ revenue. I want to have this asset. I want to have, if you are an employer of labor, I want to increase my staff strength by 20% or 30% along this level or what have you, right? But you find out that by end of even first quarter, that you set that by end of first quarter, I will onboard 1 or 2 persons. By end of first quarter, I would have made, let's just say 200 or 300 million or 10 million. You understand? But you realize that you've only made 7 million, or you've only made 5 million, or you've not even made anything at all. You're only still sustaining what you brought into the year. Trust me, the fact that you have not closed that shop, the fact that you have not given up to say, I am not doing again. If you sit down, I'm going to say this in vernacular in Yoruba. It's a song. It says, Teruba monuroni adupe. That if a slave knows how to think, he will be grateful. Practice gratitude. Practice gratitude to say that I am grateful that yes, this has not happened, but I'm still here, I'm still standing. Consistency, gratitude, reward yourself. Buy a nice juice. When I mean nice juice, those fresh ones.
A healthy
Because
one.
this holiday, I think I did a lot of the frizzy drinks and it's affecting me now. I can see, you know. So, but just reward yourself with something small. You can even look at it and say, okay, let me do my hair, let me do something. Reward yourself. Do you know that when you do that, it motivates you to say, oh, you mean I could do this? I want more, right? Reward yourself with that. It helps to motivate yourself. Like David did, he spoke to himself. Speak to yourself. If there's nobody to train, there was a time the primary school. Some of my friends in secondary school, even till date, they still call me Orokpo, right? And I was like, I was always coveting. I want to train people. I want to lecture. I want to do that. I will sit down and be lecturing myself and be talking to myself. Then anybody I see around me, my staff, when I finish with them at times, I'll start teaching. And the way I teach, the way I talk to them, I don't talk to them like I'm talking to them at their level. I imagine that I'm talking to a bigger audience. I'm imagining that I'm talking to a high network audience. And you know what? God is faithful. He says, fear thou a man diligent. Diligence. Consistency. Just diligently be sticking to it. You just see one day the opportunity will just come. Pam, like that. Like that. It doesn't matter. Just keep at it. All right.
Thank you very much. You've said so many things, so many points. I'll
Let's
come
take
back
that
to
in.
it. Yes, I'll come back to it a bit by bit, but we have a question here, and the question goes, sorry to take us back. Please explain a bit about doing different things at the same time. I'm not sure I caught it properly. Waking up, reading a book, and doing other things at once. The question really is that not a lack of concentration and being distracted? When you were talking a while back, you said something about you wake up, you could be on your bed, you could be reading a book, you could be thinking. Could you please explain further so that this listener can get it properly?
Okay, I didn't get
Okay,
that
I
because
think
the
that.
network kept on going. I know I heard something about
Okay,
doing many things at the same time.
so basically, when we are talking earlier before now, you said something about you could wake up and sit on your bed and be reading a book, or you could be brushing your teeth and be doing something. So this listener is saying, isn't that like doing so many things that can cause you to be distracted or probably have a lack of concentration?
Good. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Um, so one of the gift of women is ability to multitask.
Mhm,
That's one of the gifts of we have as women. We can juggle so many things at the same time. I remember the image that always
mhm,
goes round. Hairbrush has her hand in the zinc, another hand cooking, stirring the food on the cooker. She's also has another hand folding. Just to tell you the power of a woman that we can multitask. I can tell you, and even if you too can be honest with yourself, you realize that even when you are reading, even when you are studying your Bible, you are reading, you're listening in to what you're reading, seeking to understand. Your mind is also somewhere else, thinking of one or two things. You are juggling it, right? That's one thing, right? Now, to really explain this is study yourself. What works for you? Um, what works for you? I was going to use myself as an example, but I don't want to do that. Um, if you can multitask, you can do so many things at the same time. Feel free. If you can only do one thing at a time, and you are those, there are some of us who can multitask and we can procrastinate at the same time. There are some of us who we don't multitask. We only do one thing. So we take it in linear steps. When I finish this thing, I move on to the other thing. It means we have that habit of we can start a thing and finish it. Know your strengths. Know what your weakness. Know where you are weak. Now, not that your weakness is bad. It's just that that is your personality. That is your innate ability. So use your strength to mitigate that. The one you cannot do, you delegate it. But if you delegate also, keep an eye on it. Be sure that whoever you are delegating to is someone that has strength in that area. You understand? So it's important that we understand this and then have our planner, our journal. No matter how, when it comes to journaling, you mentioned Oprah Winfrey, there's no rule to it. Just you don't have to get a proper, excuse me, or excuse me.
Bless you.
You don't have to get a proper journal. You don't have to, there's no journal that is printed anywhere. You can get a piece of paper, day one, put the date, write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As you're accomplishing it, tick it off. Carry it over to the next day. What did I do yesterday? That so know yourself, know what works for you. Know what works for you. And also know the time of the day that you are at your topmost and most
Very
favorable
important.
energy. Like I used to tell my friend I'm very nocturnal. So I sleep late. People say it's a bad habit. I say, I've tried. You understand? But I realize that that is when I'm able to get things done. Because I know in the daytime, if I'm not on the phone, I'm in one meeting or the other. I'm canceling. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Managing the company, managing clients, managing so many things. But daytime, know what works for you. Some people, it's very early in the morning. I have a friend, she goes to bed by 8, she's up by 2, and that's it. By 2, 3, she starts her day. So at times we overlap. I say, hello, how are you? Are you still up? I say, I'm up. She's trying to wake up. I'm trying to go to bed. So know what works for you.
Thank you very much. So this is why it is important that we say finding self. You must find yourself and know what works for you. Multitasking is one, but then do not multitask and lose concentration. If you're the kind of person who cannot multitask,
Yeah.
then please concentrate on one task per time. Now, back to those lovely nuggets you dropped. We can't even begin to start on gratitude because we've done a whole show on gratitude. Gratitude is a magnet. It's something that everybody should cultivate. Be thankful for everything, even the ones that you consider bad. Be thankful because it could have been worse. Gratitude is something that if you're a carrier of gratitude, you are obviously a carrier of grace. But let's not go into all of that. Just go and begin to practice gratitude. And like Shay, I shared before how I learned how to talk in public, how I bought a big mirror and every day I go in front of it and practice. If you don't know how to be grateful, just start right now and start saying, I'm grateful I'm alive. Just repeat it, chant it. By the time you finish saying it like 10 or 20 times, you find something that you're genuinely grateful for. And then repeat it until it becomes something that, is your default. So Shay, I'm glad that we use the same technique. You use this thing to practice on your staff, and now you're a sought after public speaker. So right now, I'm going to gather some people in Otodi, and then I'll now come and do my thing on them because honestly, I'm going to speak in America this year. No, I've spoken in America before.
Amen.
So I mean, some
Well,
country that I haven't spoken, I'm going there this year.
we shall
It
be
has to be higher
consistent.
heights. Yeah. So thank you for reminding me that we need to do those things again. You see, when you come to Christian speak, it's called call those things that be not as though they are. And the
Not
only
as
way
though
you
they
call
were.
those things that be not as though they are is to walk in it as though it is.
Yeah.
Most of us wait to see it. But those who get it are those
Before it happens.
who behave as if they've seen it, and then it now comes to them. I
Yeah.
just love the way you're taking this and
Yeah.
going. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much. Um, I'm big on
Thank you.
accountability partners, and I'm big on habit trackers. You find that, people will say,
Yeah.
oh, Ezinne wants to do something and she tells everybody. The reason why I tell everybody is, you say this me, I can disappoint myself and live with disappointment, right? So I tell a few persons whom I cannot afford to disappoint. So they hold me accountable. Ezinne, you said you're going to jump down from 7th Mainland Bridge by July. How far? Then I'll say, oh, okay, I'm still on the third. And then they'll check in again and say, Ezinne, so how far? I said, I'm on the fourth. And eventually one day I jump down and I say, yay, we did it. So, so can you tell us, is there some value in having habit trackers and accountability partners when you're forming new habits and when you want to go to new heights?
Yeah. There's a lot of value in it. There's a lot of value in it. Accountability systems, um, get yourself a mentor. I mean, you cannot underscore the place of mentorship. Know how to identify them.
Are we glitching up? I can't hear Sheyi anymore. Are we glitching up? Everyone on the stream, if you can hear Sheyi, please can you let me know that you can hear her? I can't hear her anymore from here. She seems frozen. Okay, while I try to get Sheyi to come back on, everyone. I'm not sure that I know. Yes, okay. Can you hear me now, everyone? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, Sheyi. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you, Nkechi. Thank you for that. Nkechi can hear me. Sheyi, can you hear me?
Hello, network.
Okay, great. We're back on.
Yes,
Yes, it
I
was networking.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So please go
Yeah.
ahead.
Just like the way they say enemy people. Okay, so you can't a proper accountability system. Yeah, you know, um, get yourself a mentor,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not mentorship is not one size fits all. There are different different aspects of your life. That is what even makes your life easier. Save and all. Coaches would help you to be accountable to your goals. They will see, they are like your sounding board. Yeah, get yourself a coach. Um, it even helps if you can pay for one. If you can pay for one, it helps because you are more attuned to being steady and consistent with what you paid for. They say put your money where your mouth is, or is it your mouth where your money is? Whichever
Yeah.
way, what you pay, what you pay for, you will realize that you will stick to. It's the same way when we go to school, we pay the school fees, assignments you do,
Mm-hmm.
everything that you have to do. But when you go to school, you pay the school fees and you stick to it. You do the things that you are supposed to do. So get a coach. A lot of people who have into
We're going to keep winning this war. So while we wait for her to unfreeze, um, she was just helping us to understand why we need to have habit trackers and why we need to have accountability partners. You have to have, if you want to learn a new habit, then you have to find things, trackers that will help you, check yourself, check in with yourself from time to time that you are on track. So, for instance, if you say to yourself, I'm going to drink more water, then you should be able to say just how much more water do you want to drink as opposed to what you currently do. And then you find yourself a tracker that will help you and ensure that you're doing the 5 liters, the 6 liters that you promised yourself on a daily. Okay. Shay is back, so I'm adding her back on to keep telling us. So it's important while she's coming on that you have those trackers. And like she said, yes, she's back. Like she said, what you pay for, you will make sure you put yourself there. When we're going to school, we're paying school fees. And this school fees was helping us to learn and ensure that we did our assignments. So it's important that this year you get yourself a mentor and you get yourself a coach. But
I
remember that Sheyi said that mentoring or mentorship is not a one size fits all. That Sheyi can mentor me in my, let's say, listening ability doesn't mean that Sheyi is the right fit mentor for you in your own listening ability. So you need to know yourself, know what the gap is that you're trying to form the new habit for, and then
okay.
find your own
Sorry, it's
right
just
fit
my network
mentor.
has really been acting up.
No, it's
Um,
fine. We understand this. It happens. So go ahead. Take it off from there. Share your floor.
the next. Okay, I can you hear me?
Very well, Shay. Yes, we can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm nodding my head as well to say yes.
Good. Good. Sorry, well, God will help us with this network. Like I said, I overheard you, isn't it, when you were talking about, what you invest. We tend to put value on our investment to help you crystallize, your goals, to help you crystallize your purpose. Because purpose is also very important. If you understand purpose, then you will understand how to navigate yourself with all this along that. Um, and then you said something about productivity trackers,
Yes, I did.
isn't it?
Habit and productivity practice.
You
Yes,
said
I
something
did.
about productivity trackers.
Yes.
Trackers. right?
Yes, I did. Yes. Yes, Sheyi, I mentioned it. I said you should tell us if there's stuff we should
Okay.
also inculcate.
One productivity tracker that's worked for me in my professional life, and in my office organization, we used to make think about something, take a break, helps. And whilst you're taking that break, having a Pomodoro technique, it helps you to kind of ruminate over what you've done so far, how are you doing, what is the day ahead look like, what do I need as strength. It just helps you to keep yourself in check. Personally, you can also do journaling. Like I've written that already. And one great concept I used to talk about a lot that I'm even surprised I haven't talked about is mindfulness. Mindfulness. Practice mindfulness. Be mindful about how things are going on around you. Be mindful so that you are sure that you are within the right social capital. You are within the right, you have the this network today. I don't know if you heard me.
We
The,
did.
the line went
I
off at
did.
some point, isn't it?
You were saying, you were talking about mindfulness,
Okay. What
that
was the last statement you heard?
we need to practice mindfulness. We need to be mindful of the things going
Yes.
on around us.
Mindfulness is a very big thing.
Yes. And then you talked about social capital. Yeah. And so that brings me to ask you,
Yeah.
yeah,
When you're
that what's the
practicing
connection?
mindfulness, and when I mean investing your resources,
Mhm.
sorry,
Go ahead. Go
you
ahead. I'm
said
waiting for you.
what's the connection?
Oh, no, I was going to ask you a question, but you wanted to complete a thought. So complete
Okay.
that thought, please.
Okay. So in practicing mindfulness,
Mm-hmm.
mindfulness helps like I started in the beginning, that you are three in one.
Mm-hmm.
It helps you to understand yourself more,
Mm-hmm.
which is one of the things that we've been talking about since. Then, two, it helps you to understand how you affect people and
Mm-hmm.
people affect you.
Affect you. Mm-hmm.
So, therefore, you are mindfully putting and mindfully crafting your network
Mm-hmm.
to create a social capital that is of value, because it is a place of value exchange.
Yes.
As we grow in life,
Mm-hmm.
as women, we grow and we enter our different phases of womanhood,
Mm-hmm.
we have to start practicing that mindfulness of, look, this is the kind of people, because they say if you lie with the dogs, you have fleas, Abi.
Yes.
And he said a companion of fools. Who, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So you want to be mindful of the kind of people you have around you. Then,
Mm-hmm.
when you're talking about putting accountability, it's not everybody you tell everything.
True.
Be mindful. There are some people and it's the truth. We don't need to. I don't want to be standing like I'm trying to. The thing about life is there are people who will be jealous of you. There are people who will be envious of you.
True.
You understand? And
Mm-hmm.
some will do whatever they can do to make sure they stop you in your track.
Yes.
Mindfulness, which is also a spiritual gift in a way, right? Also helps you to identify the people not to tell your plans.
True.
The Bible says, do not cast your pearls before swine.
Very true.
He said, a man that is discreet in his ways will prosper. So be mindful of the people you tell your thing. I used to be like that. My life is 95, 96 and the super sites billboard. That now in practicing that, and I realized that a lot of those things were affecting me. I started withdrawing from some certain circles. Still relate, but if you see me less, you will hear less from me. You will just see
True.
my actions. So be mindful.
Discretion.
This year, we need to be
Discretion.
very discerning, discretional, very mindful to be able to net your social, because the worth of your social capital is the worth of the heights, is the measure of the heights you will get to.
That you'll get to. I like that. I like that. The what and the what of your social capital is the measure of the heights you will reach in 2025. So we need to be very mindful of the kind of social capital that we're building, of the kind of people that we're putting around us, of the mentors and of the trackers that we're going to put in place around in and around us this year. So Sheikh, very quickly, yeah. Could you please just tell me, us, the connection, if there is any, between our environment and our ability to build or break habits?
Good. Man is a is a
A product of his environment.
what the psychology says.
It's a product of his
Man is
environment. What?
a product of his environment. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Thank you. Man is a product of his environment.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, what I always say, our background has a way of affecting us. But then
Mm.
you said something is for us to be conscious, mindful enough to unlearn some habits. There was a day I said to somebody, I said, I read a story somewhere, and I think I was using it as an analogy in class I was teaching. And it talked about the family that used to cook fish. And anytime they're cooking the fish, they will cut the head away and cut the tail away. And so the grandmother had been doing that. The mother had been doing that. And then the little boy just looked at the mother and one day I said, why do you always cut off the head of the fish? He said, I don't know. That's how my mother does it. So when they went on holiday, the mother, they went and she asked her mother, why do you do it? The mother too said, that's how my mother used to cut the head away. By the time they now asked the great grandmother, the woman said, in our days, our pots were very small.
Oh God.
So for us to be able to cook the fish and for the fish to fit into the pot, we have to cut off the head and part of the tail
And
so
cut
it
off
will
the
fit
tail.
in. So you can imagine our ignorance. You can imagine our ignorance. So as a product of your environment, you have to be ready to unlearn, to learn, and keep learning. So the Bible says we should be perfect even as our Father is in heaven is perfect. So perfection, as perfection, they say perfection is our goal, but excellence is acceptable. So every day you have to be mindful and keep saying to yourself, my parents did this, I'm not going to do that. My this did this, I'm not going to do that. You in those days we grew up with Sunday, rice is Sunday food. So we almost do not want to eat rice during the week because it is Sunday Daraprim. So I'm trying to
Oh.
bring this home to those kind of things to say you can change your environment. Their cultures, you can change it. Recently, I thought to myself, Who says marriage, we must marry at a particular age? Who says we must marry immediately you finish university? The next thing it has to be marriage. Why? Who says that? Who made that rule? And that is what puts a lot of us under pressure. Meanwhile, there are people who got married at 21, they are still married at the age of 50, and they be miserable all through their marriage. There are people
Mm-hmm.
who got married at 50 and they've been married for 10 years now they are 60, and you are like wondering, you look 30. Why? Because they are at peace and they are at rest. So it's a mindset thing. Your environment is in your mind. If you can unclog your mind with the different beliefs, most times you find that people around your environment try to project themselves on you, particularly our parents. They try to project. I know a parent that tries to live her life on her child. The chances she missed, she wants that child to live that chance. And I'm like, no, don't do that. So you have to be ready to have a strong will to say, understand one, purpose gets you out of your environment. If you read, that's why I am a student of biography. When you look at all these successful people, they don't look like where they're coming from. And most
True
times they
that.
don't look like their environment. There's a concept
Mm-hmm.
I also teach. Don't let the water get in. Don't let the water get into you, which means don't let your environment get into you. You might be
Mm-hmm.
staying in Mushi and staying in Oshodi in the midst of those inches, right? But yet your mindset is like that of the person that is staying in Banana Island, or better still, staying in White House. That's when you become
Yeah, like
relatable to the quarters you want to be.
yeah,
So it's very
like one.
important that we don't allow our background, you understand, and our environment to affect us. It
Yes,
doesn't matter. That's where you are for, but you can change. That's where you are from your mind.
indeed. Sometimes where we're used to is not where we're supposed to be. And the good thing is that you may physically be in Mushi, but you can let your mind go to Singapore and find that which you really are looking for.
Exactly.
And honestly, where the
Yeah.
mind goes, the body goes. So once your mind knows how to travel to the places where you
Exactly.
want to go to, your body will eventually follow your mind. So thank you, Shay. I like the
Mm.
way you paint your imageries. It just makes it easy for us to understand everything. But between network and us, we have spent quite a lot of time, so we need to be wrapping up. I have two burning questions I want to ask you, but I don't know. Maybe I'll just choose
Yeah.
one, and then we'll just wrap up. Yeah. Um, you know, I need you to establish for us that a habit shouldn't be short term. Seriously, for something to be called a habit, it has to be long term. And it has to be something that can take you from point A to point B. And something
Like
that
your
you can
habits.
clearly,
Mm.
yes, you can, something that you can clearly share and say, I started doing this and I saw these changes. The truth is, if I wake up a little bit earlier every day and do as much as a 5 minute walk, my knees will feel better. And if I continue with it, my knees will get stronger. And then I can move from 5 minutes to 10 minutes. And hey, I come from that school of thought where there is nothing like impossibility. You might just see a lady running a marathon, even if it's a half one, sometime in this her lifetime, if I can consistently commit to doing one thing. So the thing that happens is that, like, some people, persons listening to us today, they might get gingered. They would want to start something, and then they experience a setback, a loss, anything, and they become demotivated. And then they can now say, they might just say, these new habits don't work. So I need you to drive it home for us that for you to form a habit and have those habits deliver the dividends that you want, you have to stay on it and be consistent with it for a long time. There's no short termism when it comes to forming new habits and staying with them to reap the results. Shay, are you there?
So the thing about habits is are your habits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is yeah, yeah, I am here now. The network has really been ganging up against us, but God punished the
No, but
devil.
we're winning. We're winning. I'm seeing the scroll, so people are still
So
with us. Let's go on.
what you do repeatedly becomes okay,
Spot on.
great. What you do
Spot on.
repeatedly becomes your habit. It becomes your habit. Yeah. Um, there was a time I was speaking to a client of mine, and I realized that each time I go to their office, that client and their staff, they are shouting at, they are not talking. They are shouting at each other. Listen, I looked at it with the first staff, second, and I'm like, what's this? Oh, she shouts a lot, and that's why they do that. And I had to say to her, I said, please, whenever I'm here, I don't want to say that. I said, can you practice this for a while? Because it is counterproductive. But do you know that the person is getting better now? Because it's beginning to see the harm that is doing to him or her. So you are what you do each day. If you are the type that would like to lounge and all, like my brother would say, my brother's wife would say, a couch potato, no problem. It's okay. That's the way people will see you. You are a lazy person. If you're someone that is always skipping deadlines, they will see you as you're not reliable. You understand? You are is what you're communicating. So your habit is communicating the you, because your habit is your behavior. Yeah, it's communicating who you are to everybody. So your consistency, what you do consistently, becomes your habit. So if you want to change that, change the way you do things. Be real to yourself. Don't go and start copying somebody else's habit to say, let me close with this. When we're growing up, my younger sister would wake up very early in the morning. We used to sleep on the same 6 by 4 bed. She'll wake up very early in the morning and she will study her Bible and she'll be praying at Kabashi. That is when yours faithfully we carry duvet, cover,
And cover your
cover her
head.
head and sleep. Then I will now wake up feeling guilty that, hey, Sheyi, somebody woke up early to sort the face of the Lord and you are sleeping. Your own, why do you do your own? But guess what? Usually, because I work late, I'll be on my computer, I'll be playing worship, I'll be studying my Bible, doing one thing on the other, I'll be talking to God. I never realized that was my own devotion until one day I read this our daily manner. And the Holy said to me, open that. And I opened it. And the man was talking about devotion. He says, what works best for you? If it's 5 minutes during lunch break, that is your own devotion. So that is your own habit. So don't say because A is doing it in the morning, me too, I must do it in the morning. Meanwhile, you are the one that sleeps late. Then you will now be cranky afterwards because you didn't get enough sleep. So it's important that we are true to ourselves and we recognize what our strength is. And we are the habits, our behavior is the habits we portray that people see of who we are. Thank you.
Okay. Finally, my last question to you. We have spent a lot of time today talking about forming new habits and building new habits and, getting to new heights and everything. But let's just devote your closing remarks on dropping habits that didn't work. The ones that quote and unquote will call bad habits. So there's also a process of letting go of habits that you have lived with all of your life, which has not done you any favors or done you any good. I know most of us say, like me, I say that's always how I've been. That's how I am. That's the way I know how to do it. Well, if you've come this far and this habit has become more of a burden to you, then it's time to drop it in 2025 so that you can have space to learn new ones and be able to get to greater heights. Shay, just give us one or two, you know, ways or strategies that we can drop habits that don't work for us, bad habits.
There's no better way than to say drop it.
Drop it like it's hot.
Just drop it. Yeah, drop it. Um, if
Okay,
it's
let me
getting in the
let me
way,
fess up.
drop it.
Let me fess up.
Sorry.
I drink Coke. I said, let me confess.
Ah.
I drink Coke, and
So
it's not
get
helping
Zobo.
me.
Replace. So replace the Coke with Zobo.
Can you see my
You
face?
understand? And the Zobo, don't put sugar. I know, sweetheart. I understand. You have to. One of the ways you drop the habit, you just drop it, replace it with a more positive
It's
habit,
something else.
which is what I try to
Okay,
do
great.
now, right? Like I have my cup in front of me, and the
Mm-hmm.
concoction inside is, you have chia seed tea, you have cinnamon tea, you have there's one other tea. Then I put ginger, I put garlic, and then I put honey in it. Yesterday I put dates powder as my sweetener, and it helps.
What?
I've been doing that, and
Yeah.
it's helping me. So I'm beginning to get rid. I'm trying to replace, because don't leave the vacuum. Don't drop that habit and leave a vacuum.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, don't.
Mm-hmm.
If you leave a
Mm-hmm.
vacuum, you will go back to it. It's like
Mm-hmm.
the scripture that talks about that when they cast the devil away and you don't
Oh.
feel, they will keep coming back. When they see that there's still
Mm-hmm.
vacuum, they will come back.
Mm-hmm.
They will go and bring 7 more stronger demons to
Yeah.
come and occupy.
Yeah.
You understand? So do not leave a vacuum.
Yeah.
Drop the bad habit, replace it with a good one immediately. And that's why when you talk about SWOT analysis, they will say use strength to mitigate weakness.
Your
Look at a
weaknesses.
strong one, use it to mitigate. Yeah, to fill the vacuum. So leave Coke, take Zobo, take all these teas. You can make them into cold teas. Put honey, put lime. I just been sipping it. Be like my friend Jennifer would say, more zip it. Be zipping it. Be sipping
Thank
it.
you very much. Even though it looks like a very tiny
Yeah.
point, you've just said something very big. In dropping a bad habit, do not leave a vacuum. Ensure that you replace the bad habit with something better at all times. Thank you so much, Seyi, for your time. Thank you for coming on the show. And thank you for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us. Your insights today reminds me, and I guess every single one of us, that success is built on small, consistent actions. You know, Honestly, I look forward to having you again and again. And I'm going to reiterate yet again that I need you to mentor me, and I'm going to come find you, sit down, and tell you how. But but before I do all of that, could you please leave us with your? Yeah, don't worry. Yes, we will both affect ourselves and affect our world as well. Could you please leave us with your closing remarks?
New heights, new habits. You do not
Mhm.
pour a new wine in old skin. Neither do
Mm.
you sew a new cloth with rags. If you want something new, you must be ready to give something new. Turn a new leaf, with your habits, with the way you do things. Surround yourself with the right kind of people. It does not have to be people in person. Read books. The beautiful thing about it is with this thing that we carry, we can read many books. You can get those apps that can help you read books in 15 minutes every day. Like they always say, a reader is a leader. When you read, you begin to see through the eye of the authors how you can get ahead. Yeah. And to believe in yourself that you are enough for that thing you want to accomplish. Don't let anybody come and tell you, you don't even know how to do it. See the way I did it. Yes, that's the way you did it and it worked for you. Let me do it in my own way, because it's not about the result, it's about the process. Enjoy the process. When you enjoy the process, which is your habit of consistency of doing those things, you'll be able to replicate it in many ways. You are in it for the long run. So I believe I will see you up there and we will celebrate each other. And don't also forget to always celebrate yourself. Like the Agama lizard, I have done well.
And
All
that's
right.
what the whole essence of UpU is. So,
Thank you.
Seyi, take your UpU. Thank you so much. And this year
Thank you for having me.
we're introducing a new segment called the Goal Getter Stories. Okay, so each week we'll feature
Yeah.
a listener who is achieving great things through small habits. If you have a story to share, send it to us on social media with the hashtag UpU with Ezinne. And so to kick off today's story share on Goal Getter Stories. I'm sharing about Kemi. Kemi sent us a message. She said she started walking 20 minutes every evening from last year. And what began as a small habit has turned into a lifestyle. She's lost 10 kg and feels more energetic than ever. Everyone, let's celebrate Kemi's win. And we hope that it's going to be your turn next week. Nkechi Elazo, I see you, I hear you, we both see you, and we will be talking. You said about productivity tracker. How do we do that? There are lots of, I'm going to respond to your message on YouTube and then give you some places you could check and see some productivity trackers that, and you find the one that works perfectly for you. So I'm just going to call out a challenge for this week for everyone. So everyone on the stream and everyone coming on after, the challenge for this week is for you to choose one habit, just one, that you'll commit to for the next 31 days. Please share it with us using the hashtag New Heights, New Habits, and we'll cheer you on. Don't forget, please share it with us so that we can keep you accountable. New Heights, New Habits. Just choose one habit that you're going to commit to doing every day for the next 31 days. And of course, remember, think of habits as the building blocks of your future. Yes, you know how they build a house one block at a time? Your habit is the building block of your future. So if you know where you're going to go to, then get yourself blocks made of the habits that you need to get you there. Small, consistent actions shape your outcomes over time. For example, like Kemi, you wake up early, you do a 30 minutes walk, or you sit down and plan your day. You can also visualize your day, and then that singular 30 minutes waking up earlier than before can completely change how productive and focused you feel. Nobody loves you more than you love yourself, and you should see yourself going to new heights. So that means that you are going to leave your comfort zone. If you want to rise to new heights this year, you can't hang on or rely on old habits. The things that brought you here may not take you to where you want to go to. So, my dear young woman, my dear old woman, my dear man on the stream, it is time for you to ask yourself, am I building with the right habit blocks? Do I have the right habits that can take me to where I want to go to? Everything that Seyi said to us, we should marinate on it, come back and listen to this again and again. Be like me. I actually plug my ears and listen to this stuff over and over and over in the week until it sinks into my soul, until I know that I have received it. And then I begin to run with it. The moment you realize who you are and where you want to go to, then you owe yourself to do the work that is necessary to get you to those heights. All right? Until we come your way next week, please keep building, keep rising, and of course, you will keep thriving. Don't forget, my name is Ezinne Kanem. Until I come your way next week, it's up you. Bye for now.